one VJ's 32 back with mail, surprisingly. I guess you're wondering where I was last week, where was the mail video. If you didn't watch my video 2 weeks ago, uh, what's going on is Canada Post is on strike. They're still on strike. It's still ongoing, but not even close. Who knows how long this damn thing is going to take. And unfortunately, most of my packages come via Canada Post. And I got a few that are currently in Canada Post hands, sitting there, not going anywhere. And then I got others coming from America and even Asia and Europe. I got packages coming from everywhere. uh, and they're all going to Canada Post. And they're closed. So they're stuck. Everything is stuck. But I did get some via courier this week, mostly. And so we'll look at them. Next week, there may be a short video. I might get one game from Board Game Bliss via courier. I'm not entirely certain if that's going to happen. But I did get some games this week. First, I got one from Lookout Games, designed by Trevor Benjamin and Brett J. Gilbert. It's a two-player game called Mandala. It's all about the mandala and playing colored cards. There's 6 different colors. You're either playing them into the mountain in the middle of one of the 2 circles, or into the field on your side. And you're trying to also collect them to score points. Basically, you're going to be collecting cards into your river. And these are going to be values of 1 through 6. And then each one of, whatever color is going to be worth X amount of points. And then over here is your cup, which is where you're going to be collecting cards for scoring. It's a nice, simple game. Pretty enough artwork and everything. It's pretty cool. It says here it has exceptional components, fast-paced turns, and high replay value. There's a newer version of this called Flowers, a Mandala game. This one's for 2 players. Flowers plays up to 4. So if you want a game that plays more players, I guess you could look at that. If you're okay with a 2-player game, this is pretty cool. I got that one on Amazon, as I mentioned. Then I got some games here from Board Game Bliss, who I already mentioned earlier. 2 orders. The first one is 2 smaller games, and then the second one is 3 games, 2 of them being bigger. So in the first order, I got here Phase 8. No, actually it's Level 8, but they could call it Phase 8 if it wasn't for legal issues. It's from Ravensburger, and it's basically Phase 10, except with 8 phases. And you actually got 2 sets of phases you can go through, depending on how much of a challenge you want. It's a double-sided card with 8 phases on each side, or levels. What's interesting about this one, it's a little bit different. And this one came out in 2022, apparently. What's interesting about this one is each player is going to have a discard pile, and you can select from any discard pile, as opposed to just one discard pile. Not sure how much of a difference that makes, but it does give you more options, I guess. And also, might make you second guess what you discard, because somebody might want that, and it might be easier for them to get. Because it's not going to get buried by the next person. So there is that. Another interesting thing about this one is, just like Phase 10, if you complete the phase or the level, then you move on to the next one. And there's only 8 in this one as opposed to 10. However, if you complete your phase or the level, and you also go out, you actually get to skip a level. So I think that's pretty interesting. So yeah, it's a nice little game. And then I got another game here that's a pretty small game. And this one is from Amigo in Germany. I think Ravensburg is also from Germany / America. And then they got offices everywhere. And this one is Toucan. The game where two can win it all, except that's not true because only one person can win. This is a golf-based game. This one came out in 2019? 2021, actually. My apologies, I'm getting confused. This one was 2022? Yeah. This one's designed by Chaim Safir, the inventor of Clack and Fruit Punch. I know him best for the game Taki, which is the Israeli version of Uno, basically. And yeah, it's a little golf-based game where you're trying to get the lowest score possible. There is these toucan cards, which aren't even displayed here, actually here, which are wild, and they'll just take on the number above and below it, which will give you 0. And it's pretty interesting. It's a nice little game. I do feel the box is a little bit big. It could have been smaller. It could have been Uno-sized or this size. There's a score pad that I don't think is really necessary. It's just to write down scores. Just seems like a waste of paper, in my opinion. I appreciate a score pad if it's a game that's a bit more complicated in scoring. Other than, just writing down these points, but you gotta score this, 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 this. This one does not have that, so I don't feel the scoring pad is really necessary. It's also a lot deeper than it needs to be. It's just bigger. Just should have been Uno size, in my opinion. But yeah, it's a nice enough game. And then I got another order from Board Game Bliss. And the first game here is Coventier from Impatience. Impatience is best known for a line of games in the, was it the Omniverse or something like that? There's a number of games like Inirum and Stellarian and others. They all end with ION. The names, basically. I never really got interested in those, but this one seemed pretty interesting. Designed by Morten Monrad Patterson and artwork by Vincent Dutrait, who is a very well-respected artist in the world of games. Does beautiful artwork, as you can see. And this game is all about Danish folklore, Danish myth, about this character, Gonley Eric, aka the Devil, at least in centuries gone by. That's what they used to call him. And he is hunting this badger named Volter, however you pronounce it, who is the embodiment of the soul of the forest. And basically, you have some cards representing the forest on the table. The devil is chasing you around, and you're using allies to try to help you stay ahead, and also trying to deal with the devil's minions. It's a solo/co-op game, and yeah, it seems pretty interesting. This one came out in 2022. Then I got a bigger game here. This one is from Cosmos, and it's designed and illustrated by Michael Menzel. It is Dragon Keepers. It's a pretty big box. It could have been a little bit smaller, in my honest opinion. And, oh look, it's Daenerys. No. It's not about House of the Dragon or Game of Thrones, but it is about dragons. Pretty strange looking dragon. Not what I would expect for a dragon to look like. But it's a game where you're trying to enchant the magic book to carry out your needs. It's kind of a set collection game. You get cards that look like a book. And this is the other side of the cards. They're double-sided. It's pretty cool. It came out last year in Cosmos. And I got another one that's pretty big. Speaking of the Game of Thrones, this is a new one from Funko Games, designed by Prospero Hall. It is the Game of Thrones. It's the House of the Dragon, Dark Dealings. Yes, I'm a fan of House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones. Although I really need to get back to finishing watching the second season of House of the Dragon. It's got some nice copper foil and UV ink. It is a game of bluffing and deception. It's a pretty big box. It's got this plastic piece here for hiding cards, a vault, all sorts of cards. These mini cards, I will tell you, they're pretty thin. They're kind of flimsy, kind of cheap quality, unfortunately. And this one just came out recently, from what I recall. Although, does it say the year? Yeah, whatever. It's pretty cool. Again, it's a little bit of a big box for what it is. But it is what it is. We got a couple more small games to get to. And the first one I got from a Japanese website. I think it was Sagaya or something like that. I might put the link in the description. I don't know if they have any more left. This is, I got kind of lucky in finding it. You might be able to find it here or there, but it's pricey because it's out of print and it's just hard to find. This is from Saucy and Saucy Blend Coffee Lab. It's a little trick-taking game where you're trying to win cards and collect them. Yeah, you're going to be collecting cards to make a cup of either light, medium, or dark roast. and try to get bonus points and score points. It's pretty cool. This one came out in 2017, designed by Sasi, with art by Takurai. And yeah, from 2017, it's pretty hard to find. Yeah, maybe it'll be a reprint one day. But I got it now, so I don't really care. And then I got one more. This one I got at Walmart. I ordered it online, just picked it up. And this is Uno Teams, a new team-friendly version of Uno. It's Uno, except that you are playing in partnerships and you both need to go out. And basically the way it works is if I were to go out, then my partner would give me half of his cards, run it down, and we continue playing and trying to go out. And then there's cards that will affect both players. Like the draw 4 here would affect both players, and there's other cards as well. There's some different cards. It's pretty interesting. This came out this year. I got a couple other older Uno games that I am waiting on, and one that I'm still trying to find. So yeah, that is it for this week. Next week I might get one thing. Might be in the imperative word. I don't know for sure. And if not, then it'll be the week after. So that is that. Comment, like, subscribe. Speaking of Game of Thrones deck at Fury 11, as well as a couple other decks. Check it out. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.